Right, guys, let's talk about Black Myth Wukong.
Let's have a
Now,
gander then.
if you don't like spoilers, you shouldn't be watching this video because most of the stuff I'll be
Guess we'll
showing.
have to go there.
Well, this is
Alright.
basically the end game what I'm showing you now, or the last
I'm gonna
chapter
explore a little
anyway.
bit, right? I might
And
just
as you
go
can
to the
see,
next
you get the
section,
cool
right?
Nimbus to ride on. And man, what can I say about this game, man? I mean, it was been on my
Let's
radar
go to the
since I
most
saw
fun
it
bandit zone.
on a trailer like a couple of months ago, and it was coming out. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy it on release. And my whole playthrough is pretty
If
much
I see
on
anything else
my
that looks like it's gonna be
live
a
on my YouTube
boss,
channel. So if you look at my live, you can see my
I'll
whole
definitely
playthrough.
fight
But
them.
I literally got the game Wednesday, 3 a.m. and I finished it Monday 2 a.m. So Wednesday, Thursday,
Like this
Friday,
looks like
Saturday,
oh, it is
Sunday,
there
Monday.
is a
So
boss.
I finished it in about 6 days.
Lang
But to
Bao
be honest
Bao.
with you
What?
guys, that's me on top of working.
Are you Lang Bao
I've
Bao?
been really busy with work, so it's possible to
Guess
play even
what?
when you have a working life. To be honest, if I didn't have work or had
Come
less
on, fellas.
responsibilities, I probably would have finished it in like I'd say 3 or 4 days.
Oh wait, these guys are trying to
But
hit Lang Bao Bao as
what can I
well.
blimmin' say about this game?
You guys are on
First of
my
all,
team.
I
Hold
like to
on.
say that the
I'm
price is
shocked.
totally worth it. Now, this is the only
I'm
game
genuinely
this year
shocked, peeps.
where the price actually feels justified. What I mean by that is when you buy the game, like I didn't really experience any bugs or any glitches at all when I was playing. It was pretty smooth on PS5. I don't know what it's like on PC, probably be better. But I'm just talking about my experience on my PS5. It's basically once you start playing it, it's hard to stop.
Bro, this
Not
guy's
just because of the
delicious.
combat, but
Lang Bao Bao's
just
dead.
running around in the world feels good. On my playthroughs as well, you'll see every single playthrough. I don't just push to the story. First of all, there is no marker, so it doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you where to go. It doesn't give you a map. You kind of have to explore, which is something I really like, because then you basically have an incentive to explore and kind of know your way around the whole world.
Okay.
But
Let
for
me
me, whenever I play, you'll see in my streams if you've seen it or you want to watch it. Every stream I do, if it feels like the story is this way, I always go the other way. I always like to explore everything because I want to get all the armor, all the best weapons and gear I can, all the materials I can. That's just how I always play the game. I always like to do the side story
oh,
stuff.
better
So
heal, better
that's
heal.
the only thing with this game, though. You don't know if you're doing a side story and you don't know if you're doing a main story. But again, I enjoy it.
Heal.
You kind of really know you're doing the story when you beat the boss and the cutscene happens. That's when you know. So I like the fact that you don't know really if you're doing the main or the
Lang
story.
Bao
So if you're one of
Bao.
those people who want to rush through the story, it's very hard for you to, which is again I think is a good thing. Now the combat itself, the only thing I didn't like about the combat is sometimes I would dodge and it wouldn't
Definitely
dodge.
better
I would
heal.
even dodge before I think I should dodge and it would still hit me. But you can get around that. One of the skill trees, you have better dodging. So sometimes I think with the bosses, like when you're about to win, they just come up with some cheese, man. They start spamming moves, moves you can't stop. But that's like standard when it comes to gaming, man.
Oh,
Like
they got
stuff
me.
like that.
Oh
Look,
no.
I thought I dodged it, but I didn't.
No.
Certain
GG.
bosses as well, like took me hours to defeat, which again,
Fuck with Manny.
it doesn't bother me too much that it took
I'll
me
finish
hours to
him off for
defeat.
this.
I'm one of those guys where I don't really give up, or I don't know when to give up. I just keep going until I do it, which is probably my problem because
Go on,
you know,
lads.
the better approach would be to leave the area, get stronger, get better gear, and come back. But for me, I'm too stubborn to do that. So that's basically been my whole playthrough. Every time I come across a boss, I literally don't stop until I beat them, even if my gear isn't up to par or whatever. But man, so far for me, this game, definitely 10 out of 10.
Nearly
It's the
there. Go
best game
on.
I played this year in 2024.
See you later, Lang Bao
100%.
Bao.
Here. Now we can do it. Yes, everyone come. Yes, there you go. Okay, everyone fight. Everyone fight him now. Why ain't y'all like going after him like crazy? You should be. Come on, y'all.
What a cheat. One absolute cheat. Come on then.
So as you can see in that gameplay, I got his health up to about maybe 20% off his maximum health, and he only hit me once, and then all of a sudden, look where my health is. I'm pretty much nearly dead. This is literally how fast things can go south in this game. So now, I'd like to talk about the skills that I was using. I'll talk about my skill tree later on, and I'll tell you guys what I spec'd on mainly. But for me, my favorite skill is the Pluck of Many. It's basically the one where you can make duplicates of yourself. Is basically the route to earn it. By the way, if you ever want to watch videos of mythology about this game, you should definitely watch it. Most of the stuff, like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, even One Piece, all of it derived from this story actually, from some Wukong. But anyway, that's a different story. So every time I go to a boss battle, my main skill would be the Pluck of Many, and it will be the Immobilize to freeze them a little bit. And then what I do is, because when you transform, so the R2 circle, when you transform, you basically have a different health bar. So it's really good for like longevity if you want to stay alive as long as you can. But I would actually suggest using that first before you use any skill. And then obviously that skill I just used there was the cloud thing, where you can basically just make a duplicate of yourself and get all the aggro on that whilst you do whatever you want. So those are the main skills I've been using. I actually didn't use any other skill. I know at some point in the game you unlock the Ring of Fire. Just not my vibe. The other ones, like when you turn yourself to rock, again, it just wasn't my vibe. I just couldn't fuck with it, man. But the Cloud Step, so that's the R2 triangle. It's really good for when like you're about to die. You can use that just to heal and just like have a little breather. So I think that spell is actually really important. But for the transformation, so the whole time I was using the fire guy. It's the very first one you unlock. But then when I unlocked this guy, I thought I'd give him a try, and it's the best. My favorite L2 R2 is the Wandering White, which is actually the first big boss that you fight, but you can't take a soul yet until later on. I think it's the best because when you press L2 R2, it has high damage and your defense goes up. And my R2 L3, I kind of switch between a few, but so far my favorite has been the Tornado one. Now this is the most satisfying thing as well. Whenever you beat a boss, especially if it takes you a long time, and at the end it just says defeat and the name, it's the best feeling in the world, man. Fighting bosses is so satisfying in this game. Now one thing I will say about this game, because if you don't like explore, you'll never find any of the side bosses or the side content. So this is actually a clip of me just browsing around, running around looking for like different areas to explore, and then I come across this guy, and I'll show you later on why it's important to fight every boss you see and defeat them, because you never know what you're going to unlock. So some of the other things I'll talk about within the gameplay is, so on the left side, if you hold L2, you can actually use these kind of potions, which can give you maximum more health, more stamina, more mana, etc, etc, and the gourd as well. So the thing that you drink has a special ability. You each have to have a specific one that you enjoy. So the gourd I've been using, there's two gourds. The main gourd I use is the one where every time you drink it you get extra mana, and the second gourd I use just has 4 different things you can put on top, but that one just gives me extra movement speed. So those are my 2 favorite gourds at the moment. And as you can see, I fudged up this boss in phase 1 and I thought, yo, this guy is so easy. But this game, it's never that easy, man. Some bosses, when they're like significant, they don't just have one life, they have multiple phases. So when it comes to like a final boss, I don't see it as a bad thing. Normally I get annoyed at that stuff, but when it's a final boss, let's say you beat them in phase 3 and there's 4 phases and you die, you have to start from the very beginning of phase 1, which again I didn't actually mind, you know, like I didn't find that as an annoying thing, because obviously if you need to beat the boss, you need to beat the boss, you know. But I just know in some games where it's like that, it's just a lot more annoying. I don't know why, but in this game I don't mind it. Maybe it's because I enjoy fighting the bosses, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I didn't really mind that too much, the fact that you have to start the fight the whole time. Yeah, like there's not really any issue with that with me. Now, if you look on the right hand side as well, that bar that keeps filling up, now that's going to be key throughout your whole playthrough, bro. Like, you need to use that. So basically, you build up focus points, what they're called, and you hold triangle, and you do more powerful shots. I'll be honest, in my first playthrough, I didn't actually utilize that until near the end, so that was my fault. And you can actually use a skill eventually, where if you use the heavy attack, you get some health back. So you should definitely spec into that. I don't know if this is the last phase or not. Oh no, I think I defeated the boss. So this is another reason why you should fight bosses. Sometimes when you fight a boss and defeat a boss like this, they open up new areas for you, which can lead to anything. It could be another boss, it could be loot, it could be anything. That's why I should always go out and explore. So when I first played this game, my first playthrough, I mean everything is live, you'll see. I didn't search anything on YouTube. I just wanted to explore it for myself. I didn't want anything like to know anything in advance. But the only thing I would say is you definitely need to explore in this world because you don't know what you're gonna find. Like one of those times where I was exploring, sometimes when you're picking up materials like plants, sometimes they're not plants, sometimes they're enemies, and that's the type of shit that I like. Like I like surprises, I like stuff like that. But as you can see, so I defeated that boss, and you open up this area, and it's a whole new area, bro. Like there's areas now. I finished the game. There's areas now I'm pretty sure I haven't explored, so I'll definitely be doing a bit more of that before I do a new game plus. So I'll talk a little bit about the points I spec'd, and I'll be honest, guys. I spec'd it mostly on maximum health, maximum stamina. I did a lot of stuff just to increase my longevity in the game, which I probably could have done better. I only started specking in the, excuse me, in the combat skill tree on the stance, on the smasher stance, like near the end. So I basically focus on the stuff that's important near the end. So I kind of learned my lesson eventually. But when I do a second playthrough, I'll definitely know a lot better what I need to do and how to fight certain bosses, because I've already fought majority of the main bosses anyway. So this is the R2 L3 that I like, by the way. It basically just goes on the enemy and lifts them up. So, anyways, nothing about the gameplay now. I just talk about the story itself. It definitely takes you on a journey, man. Like I love games where you get so invested in the story. The type of games that make you want to play because of the story. Now, this is obviously the last fight ever. Now, in most games, if anyone's watched my Flintlock Siege of Dawn, like I said before, sometimes your greatest enemy is yourself. So at the end over here, obviously, you don't know why I'm fighting myself, but if you play the game, you'll know. If you really want to find out, watch my playthrough, okay? But this is probably the most annoying fight because everything he can do, or I can do, he does. So for example, he dodges at the last second. It's a perfect dodge. He can freeze me. He can like use like that stance, that pillar stance. Like I can't. I mean, I don't even use a pillar stance. He's using stuff that I don't even know. He's using the Nimbus during fight. Like, come on, my guy's OP. But without ruining too much of the story, I really enjoyed the story because I've never played the previous game. I know that there was a game before this one because everyone talks about how this game carries on from the last game. It kind of makes me want to play the last game now. But this game, it's very similar to, it's pretty much the same as if anyone's ever watched Forbidden Kingdom, shout out Jet Li and Jackie Chan. I watched it recently with my girlfriend actually. And this is basically what that film's about. Really, I'm really into like the Chinese mythology and the lore right now, so I'm definitely going to be watching more and learning more about Sun Wukong himself. The character isn't perfect, but I like characters that are flawed, that have like a good redemption arc. Hence, one of my favorite story of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2. But in summary, Black Wukong is the bestest game I played in 2024 so far. I don't know if anyone's going to beat it because the only thing coming out for the rest of the year is COD. But story game wise, I don't know what game's going to beat Black Myth Wukong. You should definitely buy it. It's definitely worth the money, peeps. Peace out.
Oh, there's still more favorites.
You're in mad trouble there. Right, there you go. It's different now. You're in trouble, bro. Go. And let's get him.
He's in trouble. I don't even need to use anything else. I can just keep hitting now. Let's charge this up. Oh, health.
Okay, now you're in trouble, bro.
Headbutt.
There we go.
In trouble now, Lance. He's done. He's done for. He's done. Oh. Get here real quick. Heal again. It's over, man.
There you go. That boss is
So again, guys, if you want to see my playthroughs on my YouTube channel, my next game I'll be playing is probably Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I'll play it anyway. I'm going to play most of the new games that are coming out because I've got a little bit of dosh to spend. But yeah, thank you all for watching. And if you ever get this game, sometimes you have to run around and enjoy the views. And that's exactly pretty much what I do most of the time. But anyways, y'all, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you on the next video/stream. Peace.
See ya. Whoa, look how huge that place is, man. Look at the views, peeps. Look at the views. Whoa. Just enjoy the scenery, take it in.